Welcome back, students. So, students, today's English class we will continue with our chapter 7. I hope you have your textbooks with you. Just open it, open chapter 7. We'll continue reading. Okay? On your screen, you have a paragraph. Now, I'm just reading it. You can repeat after me. On the second Saturday, Meg, as she sat sewing at her window, was shocked by the sight of Laurie chasing Joe all over the garden and finally capturing her near the trees. What shall we do with that girl? She never will behave like a young lady, sighed Meg, as she watched the race with a disapproving look. Now, this is the paragraph. Here, there is a name in the first line, Meg, as she sat sewing at her window, was shocked by the sight of Laurie. Now, Laurie is, if you remember, Joe's friend. Chasing Joe. They both were just, Joe was running and Laurie was behind her all over the garden. And they were just happily playing about. So, seeing them, Meg, she just says, what shall we do with that girl? Actually, she's referring to whom? She's referring to Joe. She never will behave like a young lady, sighed Meg as she watched the race with a disapproving look. Means she was just looking at them with a not a happy look, saying that why are they behaving like this, like kiddish way, childish behavior, all this. Okay, so now this is the paragraph. So now let us see the question. Now on your screen you have a question. Who was Meg? Now you know who is Meg. Meg was Joe's sister, her elder sister. Now we shall move forward. I hope she won't. She's so funny and dear as she is, said Beth, who had never betrayed that she was a little hurt about Joe having secrets with anyone but her. It's very trying, but never we can make her understand, added Emmy, who sat making some new frills for herself. In a few minutes, Jo bounced in, laid herself on the sofa and pretended to read. Now here you can just imagine a drawing room wherein sisters are sitting and they are doing their Joe's. Here Beth is her sister. Now Meg is also her sister. Now there is one more sister named Emmy in this paragraph. So they were just sitting and discussing and talking about Joe, and Joe was she just barged into the room, and she just laid herself on the sofa and she started pretending to read something. Okay, this is the paragraph all about. Now okay, we have a question here. Pick out the proper nouns from the passage. I'm sure you all know what is proper noun. I don't have to tell you again and again. Nouns, common nouns, proper nouns. So here the question is, pick out the proper noun from the passage. Here, let's see the paragraph again. Proper nouns are basically names. The first line you have this Beth, second line you have Joe, then you have third line Emmy. Okay, no more other words, names are mentioned. So the answer is Beth, Joe and Emmy are proper nouns. Now here you have another question. Find the other word for unfaithful from the passage. Now let's check out this unfaithful. You know the meaning of unfaithful? We will check out. Okay. Here, look at the first line. I hope she won't. She is so funny and dear as she is, said Beth, who had never betrayed that she was a little hurt. Now, here, betrayed. Betrayed means like Beth was feeling that Joe is hiding. Her sisters were feeling that Joe is behaving very funnily these days. She's like whenever in the last paragraph, the last class I had mentioned, like she was anxious and her anxiety was building. She was just rushing in each and every time when the doorbell rings. She used to rush to the door to find who is it. So the sisters were not able to figure out what is going on, but she knew that there is something, and she felt a little bad, like why Joe is not sharing it with her. But she see the first line, I hope she won't. She is so funny and dear as she's just so fond of Joe that she's not willing to talk anything negative about her, said Beth, who had never betrayed. Now what were we wanted? Actually, we wanted the another word for the word unfaithful. So here on the second line in red you can find this word betrayed. So betrayed is the right answer. So what is the answer? Find the other word for unfaithful from the passage. The answer is betrayed. Shall we move ahead, students? Yeah. She is so funny and dear as she is. Now this is a dialogue said by, I think that was Beth. Now who is saying this? Who is Beth referring to? Now Beth is saying the sentence. Okay. Now about whom is she? Who is she referring to? Who is she talking about? Who? Yes, very well. It's simple. She is talking about, Beth is referring to Joe. So we shall move ahead. Another paragraph. Pay attention, students. Have you anything interesting there? Said Meg. Asked Meg. Nothing but a story, won't amount to much, I guess, returned Joe, carefully keeping the name of the paper out of sight. You better read it aloud. That will amuse us and keep you out of mischief, said Amy in a most grown-up tone. What's the name? Asked Beth, wondering why Joe kept her face behind the sheet. The Rival Painters. Now, as Joe entered the room, she would lay down on the sofa and she pretended to read. So Meg, now the sisters are very concerned. They are saying, Meg is asking, anything interesting? Have you anything interesting there? So now Joe is saying, nothing but a story, won't amount to much, I guess, returned Joe. Means she replied carefully, but she was very careful that she would not reveal the name of the paper, keeping the name of the paper out of sight. So now Emmy is getting a bit irritated and she is saying in a quite like commanding way, like she's the elder sister, no? So she's saying, you better read it aloud, that will amuse us and keep you out of mischief. So she's saying indirectly, don't play, don't joke around, please read it loudly so that we can also hear it and maybe it is interesting for us. Now, what's the name? Asked Beth. Now Beth is more curious, so she asks, what's the name? Wondering why Joe, and she was also wondering why Joe is hiding her face behind the sheet. So now the answer, Joe has given mentioned the name and the last line you can see, the Rival Painters. So now this was the paragraph. Let us find out the questions. What is the name of the story? Yes, very well. The story was just mentioned in the last line of that paragraph, The Rival Painters. So now we move ahead. Another next paragraph. That sounds interesting. Read it, said Meg with a long breath. Joe began to read very fast. The girls listened with interest, for the tale was romantic and somewhat pathetic, as most of the characters died in the end. Now what is happening is Joe actually she's so nervous and she's so excited. She's reading her she's very like somewhat mixed emotions she's having, and she's just reading it out. So when the name itself, when the sisters heard, they found it very interesting. That sounds interesting, read it, said Meg with a long breath. Actually Joe was becoming very anxious. Joe began to read very fast. The girls, all her sisters, they listened with interest, for the tale means story was romantic and somewhat pathetic means something not so good, cheerful, not something cheerful. As most of the characters died in the end. When they listened to the story, but what happened, the story was quite interesting, but it was a little bit sad, as most of the characters died in the end. So now let's check out the questions from this paragraph. Find the antonym of the word boring from the passage. Yes, look at the first line, students. That sounds interesting. So here we have the answer. Boring, antonym, interesting. So the answer is interesting. So let's move ahead. I like that part about the splendid picture, was Amy's approving remark. As Joe paused, I prefer the tragic part. Voila and Angelo are two of our favorite names. Isn't that strange? Said Meg, wiping her eyes. They were so happy and they were so thrilled that literally out of happiness the tears welled in her eyes. Who wrote it? Asked Beth, who caught a glimpse of Joe's face. Now Joe was getting a slight hint about what is happening. So she just asked, who wrote it? Asked Beth, who caught a glimpse of Joe's face. She managed to just have a small glimpse of Joe's face. And by looking at her face, Beth guessed something. The reader suddenly sat up. Now who's the reader? Joe was the reader. She sat up and cast away the paper. She just kept a paper, shifted the paper side, displayed a flushed face. Flushed face means she was blushing literally. She was red all over. Flushed face, and with a funny mixture of solemnity and excitement, replied in a loud voice, your sister. Now finally she broke the suspense, she broke the secret. Okay, that is why the name of the lesson itself, children, you should now relate it to the name of the chapter itself is Secrets. With such a big secret, she had kept it all by herself and Laurie without disclosing it to her sisters. So now Emmy's they liked, actually after hearing the story they just loved it. So I liked that part about the splendid picture was Emmy's remark. Then Joe paused. Then they are mentioning about the character Viola and Angelo, favorite names, characters mentioned in the story. Then literally they were so happy that Meg was in tears. Then finally Beth managed to ask who wrote it, because she saw that she had a doubt that Joe, it has got something to do with Joe. Since then suddenly Joe thought that it's time for me to break the suspense, and she just shifted the paper aside and finally, with a funny mixture of solemnity and excitement, replied in a loud voice, "Your sister." So now let us find out whether we can answer the questions from this paragraph. Pick out the abstract nouns from the passage. There are few words in this paragraph wherein we can find some abstract nouns. Let's check out. So first line, you don't have any. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and the seventh. Look at the seventh line. And with the second last line, students, and with a funny mixture of solemnity and excitement. Excitement and solemnity are, students, abstract nouns. Okay, so the answer we have got is, for the question, pick up the abstract noun from the passage. Here you have the answer, solemnity and excitement. Now let us move ahead. We have another question. Who preferred the tragic part of the story? Now after listening to the story, the sisters were giving their opinion, like what they liked, what they did not like. So in the passage, let us find, see, look at the third line, students. I prefer the tragic part. Viola and Angelo are two of our favorite names. Isn't that strange? Said Meg. So who preferred the tragic part? The answer is quite simple. It was Meg preferred the tragic part of the story. So let us move ahead, students. You, cried Meg. Now you remember the last line, Joe mentioned your sister. So now Meg, you, cried Meg, dropping her work, whatever was in her hand, she just dropped it aside because she was so stunned and she was surprised and very happy. Like, it's very good, said Amy critically. Amy said in a very, it's very good. Normally Amy is not a good, she doesn't very easily praise anybody, but that is why she also liked it. So it's very good, said Amy critically. I knew it. Oh my Joe, I'm so proud. And Beth ran to hug her sister and exclaim over this splendid success. Now, Beth was really proud of Joe. She said, I knew it. Oh my Joe. She was just so happy for her. And she ran to hug her sister and exclaimed over this splendid success. They were very proud of Joe. Dear me, how delighted they all were, to be sure. How Meg would not believe it till she saw the words Miss Josephine March actually printed in the paper. Now, Meg, actually her full name was printed in the paper, so she, like, the sisters couldn't have a doubt whether Joe was speaking the truth. Dear me, how delighted they all. Now Joe is just speaking to herself. So happy they all were, to be sure. How Meg would not believe it till she saw the words Miss, they were conversing with each other. Finally, Meg, she saw the words Miss Josephine March actually printed in the paper. Now let's check out some of the questions. I knew it. Oh my Joe, I'm so proud. Who's the speaker? Here. Beth is the speaker. Now we have another question. What was the name printed on the paper? What was the name, students? See, look at the last line. She saw the words Miss Josephine March actually printed in the paper. That is Joe's full name. Actually, it was like in the entire lesson it is mentioned as Joe. It's a short for her name. Her full name is Miss Joe March. So what is the answer? Miss Josephine March was the name printed on the paper. So students, today we'll stop here. We have one more, one more page left in that chapter. We will complete that lesson in the next class. We will also do a short recap. I will give you some activity to do also, and after that I will be sending you the PDF of the question answers of this chapter. So keep seeing the video, students, and keep reading the textbook thoroughly. Okay, if there is if, you can check out the pronunciation that teacher makes of those words, hard words and all. Learn to pronounce the words correctly. So students, till we meet in the next class, have a nice day.